welcome to another Monday night live with Created by Cassie. I'm Cassie with Created by Cassie, and thank you so much for choosing to spend your time with me tonight. I look a little bit rough tonight, but you know what? It's okay. We are going on with it. It is still light outside here. I am in Monroe, North Carolina, just outside of Charlotte. So if you hear dogs barking, I'm sorry. It is prime time for walking the dogs, and my dog has a little window seat right there, and he is on the lookout. So sorry ahead of time if you hear any barking, but if this is your first time catching me live or watching the replay, go ahead and put this emoji down in the comments so that I can say hello and welcome you to my channel. If you haven't already, make sure that you subscribe and that you hit that bell so it'll notify you whenever I go live. All right. Also, I love to send out cards, so if you are interested, you can sign up for my card mailing list. Just look for the little rainbow emoji down in the description, and that has the link. You can sign up for that. I also have a birthday card list that I send out birthday cards. So if you are interested in that, you can also sign up for my email list as well. And just a little helpful little tip here for down in the description to help locate different items. There is no video one yet to this stamp set, but if there was, look for that little potted plant. Again, the email and card sign up is the rainbow. If you are local to the Charlotte, North Carolina, Monroe, Indian Trail area, I do in-person classes. So look for the little apple emoji, and that'll give you the link that you can go and sign up for that. It's every second Thursday at 6 p.m. All right, then if you love these videos, I have playlists also with the little camera emoji, and then all the supplies that I use tonight will be in the description as well with that pencil emoji. And I do have some non-normal card sizes, so those measurements will also be under that supply list with that pencil. And then if you want to shop with me tonight, you can look for the little shopping bags. So just trying to make it easy for you guys to find everything down in that description. All right, so tonight we are going to be working with the Dream Team stamp set. I don't think this is a very popular stamp set, but I thought it would be really fun and really different. These are going to be really good cards and projects for coworkers or people on different teams. Like if you are volunteering anywhere, these would be really good for that as well. All right, so let me point you down. Okay, so tonight we are working with the Dream Team. Actually, this is just a stamp set. It's not a bundle. I think I said a bundle, but it's just a stamp set. And our sentiments are: you're the boss. Welcome to the team. From all of us, I appreciate you. Hey, thanks. And then good luck finding coworkers better than us. I thought that was kind of cute. And then we have a couple different fun little stamps here that we're going to be working with. So let's see. Let's go ahead and we can get started. So we're going to start out with this one right here. How cute is this? So darn cute and super, super simple. Wanted to give you guys something really simple and easy. So we're going to have a card base that is Secret C. And all my card bases are 11 by 4 1/4 and scored at 5.5. And so we are going to burnish this here. And I thought we would do, instead of, this is fresh freesia, I thought we would do bubble gum. Right, bubble gum, bubble bath. I always want to say bubble gum. So I thought we could do bubble bath, just to kind of see how it would look with a different color. All right, so what I'm going to do first is I'm going to get out my Stamp Off paper. And that is right around here somewhere because I just had it. Let's get this one right here. All right. So I'm going to stick this up here. So we are going to do this on Bubble Bath. And we're going to work with the little coffee cup stamp here in this Dream Team stamp set. And I'm just going to grab a block here. And then I used Secret C. I think for everything with the cup, I used Secret C. I didn't like it with Memento. It was too dark. But the Secret C gives it kind of like a little bit of a softer touch to it. So we are going to ink up our cute little coffee cup here. And then we're just going to stamp this around. I did try to keep them all kind of facing upwards. A lot of times I'll put them going down like this as well, but I did try to keep them going up-ish on this card. Just got a real inky stamp pad here. Oops, that one didn't get. I say that, and then that one's not very good. Let's flip that over because that was really bad. All right, how are you guys doing tonight? Hope you have had a, let's see if I put this over here, it won't. There we go, that's better. It's not gonna make that little slapping noise there. Hope you've had a great start to your week. Today was a little bit busy, but it wasn't too bad. It's a nice day outside, it's nice and sunny. So that has helped definitely to keep all the positive vibes going. All right, let's do this one kind of like this way here. Make sure that I am in frame. And again, if you are just joining, I'm working with the Dream Team stamp set. And this is a stamp set that's kind of geared towards coworkers or people that you're on a team with. I thought this would just be a really fun set to kind of play around with. And everybody kind of has, mostly everybody has coworkers. Let's go this way. Or a boss. And I'm sure, I know there's a boss's day, but I don't know when it is. I probably could have looked that up. That would have been a good idea. All right. And again, this is Secret C ink I'm using. And I'm thinking it was really juicy earlier, but I guess I need to re-ink it because it's not doing very well on some of these. I'm not sure which area. All right, so I have that going around there, and I'm just going to fill in. I like to kind of fill in with these little areas, just little tiny areas that look like it's kind of going off that page there. We'll go here, and then let's go here, and we'll do a little tag here. There we go. All right, like that. Isn't that cute? All right, I'm gonna, whoops, shaking the table. I'm gonna take the ink off of that and put my paper over here. Now what we're going to do is we are going to take our ribbon, and this is the Secret C bordered open weave ribbon. It's one of my new favorites. I love this ribbon so much. It's so pretty. And I am going to wrap this around. I'm actually going to just go ahead and cut some of this off because it's easier, I think, to tie it this way. I know it's kind of, sometimes it can be wasteful to do it this way, but I always need to make sure I have enough ribbon to tie a bow. Otherwise, I have to start over with more ribbon. All right, and pull that there. We're just going to tie our bow. We're going to hope that I didn't do it upside down. I might have. Let's see if I can work it around here. There we go. I think I can finagle. All right, we are going to make our loops a little bit smaller. Let's see. Come here. All right. Get that little loop there. Okay, there we go. This is also really good for doing your team for your Stampin' Up teams. This is kind of a cool little stamp set, I think. All right, we've got our bow. Pull this one just a smidge more. All right, now we are going to, I'm going to make sure this is a bit straight. We are going to glue this down, and I know you guys, I always pop it up, but this one I glued down. That little dry part off there. And I'm not going to put glue on my ribbon just because I want to be able to move it around in case I find a different placement. All right. Isn't that cute? So again, this is Fresh Freesia, and this one we are doing in bubble bath. All right, I am going to put that over there, and then let's cut our tails. Whoops, that tail kind of went up. We don't want that. Here we go. All right, look at that cute bow. All right, now we're going to do our sentiment, and for this one, I have the back here is Secret C, and then we have Basic White, and we're going to do You're the Boss. So let's see this one here, and I'm going to stamp it in Secret C as well. And let's see, we're just going to stamp this right in the center here. Let's make sure I get ink on it this time, because some of these they didn't really ink up very well. All right, there we go. Perfect. Maybe it's just my pressure on my ink pad I was having problems with. All right, now we're going to take our sentiment here, and we're going to glue this, whoops, to, I need to get this little thing off of there, to our Secret C here. Oops, get that centered. And then I'm going to grab that thing off of there. There we go. Had a little gunk on there. All right, so now we're going to pop this up, and we're going to kind of put it on a little bit of an angle. I thought that was kind of a fun, different look to what I normally do. Normally everything is kind of straight. So we are going to just kind of put this to the side, kind of like that. And then there are these cute little clips here that come in the stamp set here, the Dream Team stamp set. Isn't that cute? So I stamped those in Secret C here, and I am just going to trim these. This is on Basic White, and the ink is Secret C. And I'm actually fussy cutting. I had a class, I think it was a couple months ago, and I was saying, oh, fussy cut this paper, and they were poking fun at me because they said that I don't fussy cut, I cut it right up to the edge. But this one, I truly am fussy cutting because there's white around it. All right, so one is going to go up here. And I guess technically that isn't fussy cutting because it's not very fussy. It's just right up against the whatever the thing is that I am cutting. But sometimes it's just easier for me to cut right at that edge than to actually leave some of that paper. Oh man, this one's like, here we go. This one doesn't want to turn as well as the other one did. All right, there we go. So we've got these two, and I'm going to flip them over. And let's see, I need 2. Whoops. That guy just came right off of there. We're going to grab 1 dimensional, stick it on the back there. Where'd that other one go? And then this one here. And we're going to put 1 right here, kind of like it's holding down that little sentiment there. And then we're going to stick 1 here, like that. Let's do this one a little bit more on an angle. There we go. All right, and then to embellish for this one, I used the Pearls of Beauty. I used the really pretty shimmery white pearls here. And I've got to keep them in this package to get them off because they're kind of like this low profile ones. And I can never get them off when they are not on like the paper here. If it's on my desk, forget it. I'm not getting it off. All right, there we go. Cute. So simple, so quick, right? How cute is that? So this is Fresh Freesia, and this is the Bubble Bath. Yep, Bubble Bath. So cute. I love this this card. It's very simple for me, but I think it's a very fun and nice card. I really like that design. All right, put these back in here, and let's pull this paper off. All right, so our second project for tonight is one of my favorites, actually. Look how cute this is. This is not adorable. So it's a larger tag. It's almost going to be like a card as a tag. It is 4 by 5 1/4. But look how fun that is. Isn't that pretty? And it's got the ribbon that I love. This thick, real textured cloud cover ribbon. Oh, it's so pretty. And the bow here. Oh, it's gorgeous. All right. We have all of our little pieces here. And we are going to start with this is Coastal Cabana, and this is 4 by 5 1/4. And then we have a piece of DSP. This is from the Hobby Haven. It's the back of the one with the sewing. I think that's the sewing, maybe the knitting. It's the back of that one. I love this combination here. It's so pretty. All right, and I'm going to glue this down. I always like to glue down my tags as opposed to popping up that first base there, just to make sure it's not going to pop off. All right, and then we're going to flip this over and put our little back on. So we have this here. I've gone ahead, I've already stamped and colored this one, but we are going to color this one together, and it's excuse me, the same way. So I will show you how to do that. It is a lot of pollen around here, so it's got my allergies going. All right. There we go. Now we are, got this little piece here. We are going to stamp our flower pot here. I already went ahead and cut this out. I stamped and cut this out. We're going to do the flower pot, the computer, and the little coffee cup here. And as I had mentioned earlier, I am, hi Laurie, how are you doing? Hope you're having a good night. I did the cup in Secret C. I thought that it was a little bit softer than the Memento Black was. The Memento was really, really dark. All right, let's go this way. Okay, so we've got our cup. And then we're going to do our computer. And I am also going to do the computer in Secret C. Isn't that kind of a fun little stamp there? All right. Ink this up. Make sure I got all the parts. And I'm going to stamp this here. Sorry, I'm out of frame. There we go. I always like to hold it for a second with the darker colors. I think it helps it transfer a little bit better. All right, that's done. That's all for the Secret C. And for this one, we're going to do Petunia Pop. And what I did to get this here is I took the stamp, and the top part of the stamp with the leaves, I stamped that in Memento. So I just stamped it kind of like this. So just like the leaves were on there. And then what I'm going to do with the flower pot is I'm just going to ink up that flower pot. And then let's put it over here. Going to put that down there. Whoops, I got that on the table. And then we're just going to snip that out. All right. Now, let's go ahead and color before we cut, because it is so much easier to color before you cut. Oh, actually, we've got to do our sentiment. So for this, I used the I Appreciate You sentiment, and it comes in one line here, but I made it into two. So to do that, what is this one? That's You're the Boss. Let's see. Where is it? I Appreciate You. So let's put this on. Whoops. Right there. Is that cleaned off? It's like part of that is purple. This is like the purple color, and this is like the red color. That's really interesting. I don't think I used it on any other color, but maybe I did. All right, well, it's cleaned. All right, so we are going to take our Petunia Pop here. And I am going to grab a little piece of tape here. This is just some mint tape that is like low sticky. And I am just going to stick that right over. You can also use your masking that we can get through Stampin' Up. So I just covered that Y right there. And then I am just going to ink up the I Appreciate. And then I can take this off. Stick that in there. Let's hope I didn't get that on my hands. And then, that's not the right one. We are going to stamp that right there. So we have I Appreciate. Then we're going to do the same thing, but we're going to cover the T. Oops, that's covering the Y. We don't want to cover the Y. You can also just really carefully dab it on there and then tap off any that gets on that T. But this one's so close together that I preferred it this way. So then I'm just going to pull this off here. Stick that in there. And then stamp that there. My U smeared a little bit, but that's okay. So we have I Appreciate You right there in the middle of our computer. Super cute. All right, then for this computer, I used to color in the white part here on the keyboard. I used, oops, don't want to get anything on that, Pool Party, Light Pool Party, and that is this right here. So I used a Stampin' Blend, and I just, and this is stamped in Secret C, so I was careful to just go in the middle of that line and not just do like one pass, because I don't want my Secret C to blend or to bleed. So I just did my best to stay in that line here. And then I did the keyboard the same way. For some reason, I cannot stay in the line here. And I think that I'm running out of ink, which is hilarious because I feel like I just replaced this one. Let's try this end. It's a little bit better. And I just went line by line. And then I went back through and colored the lines going the other way. So this way here. Hey, Marier, how are you? Running late this morning, getting ready to go out. Oh, no worries. No worries. There's always a replay as well. But I'm glad you hopped on. I'm working with the Dream Team stamp set. Super cute little stamp set. Really fun for coworkers and different teams. All right. And then we're going to color in our little mouse thing here. Forget what it's called. Touchpad? All right. And it doesn't take this many coats. It's just my blend is running out of color. So I don't even think it did much up here. It doesn't even look like I colored it. There we go. Yeah, I think the other end is really dried out. This one's not much better, but at least I'm getting color with this one. All right, so we have our cute little computer there. I'm going to stick this over here so that I remember to get a new one, because I'll forget. And then we are going to do our coffee cup here in Petunia Pop. And I actually just used the light Petunia Pop. So, again, this is in Secret C. So I'm trying to not hit the lines here so I don't want it to bleed. Got back from on stage and was not... Oh, I'm so sorry you weren't well and you weren't feeling well. Oh, you watched the replay. Yes. Good. Thanks for watching the replay. I hope you're feeling better. It's always a bummer when you don't feel good. But I hope you had a good time at On Stage. I didn't get to go this year, but I heard that it was a lot of fun. I'm excited for the pre-order in the morning. Lots of fun things coming. So if you're not a demonstrator, you will be able to order in the new catalog in May. But if you are a demonstrator, we have our pre-order starting tomorrow morning, unless you are... I think, Marier, you probably already are able to pre-order, I think is how it works. All right. So there we go. Got our little cup there. Missed a little spot right here. And right here. There we go. All right. And then for up here, I actually also used... Yep, pre-order is open now. Good. Yeah, ours opens in the morning. It is 7:01 p.m. here. And I think, what is it, 2 o'clock in the morning or something, I think is when it opens. Something like that. I will not be getting up early. If I miss out on something, I miss out on it. But I'll get it at some point if I really want it. All right, there we go. I'm glad you had fun. All right, so there we go. And now we are just going to snip these out. I'm just going to snip this little piece off here because I can always use that to stamp something on. And I did not necessarily fussy cut this. I cut this to the edge because I thought it was easier to just cut it right at the edge. And the fun thing about this is you can go back and take your Secret C blend and you can go across the edges if you missed a couple little tiny spots of white from the basic white. You just color right over it and you never know. I like it. A lot of times this is how I cut just because I think it's easier. But I know fussy cut is supposed to be fussy. All right, like that. Then we've got our cup here. Start on this edge so that I can get that curve. There's a dog walking. It's still light outside here in North Carolina, so if you joined late, I said at the beginning, but it's still light out here, and it's prime time for walking your dogs. And I have 2 dogs, and they love to watch outside. I do close the front door. I have a storm door. I do close the front door so that they can't see out there, but my older dog, Winston, you wouldn't know he's older, he has a little chair up against the window here in my office craft room, and he has to sit up there, and if I close the blinds all the way, he will rip them and tear them. So I leave them open. All right, and then I am just going to snip this out as well. This is the little flower pot part. Yeah, I keep my blinds open just a little bit at the bottom because I don't want him to break them. He broke one in the beginning when I first got him. I said, okay, we're just going to leave them up a little bit so you can see. Then I don't have to worry about you breaking them. Because I have the nice ones, the wooden ones. And I don't want to be having to go through getting new blinds just because he wants to see outside. All right. Now I'm going to take my Secret C blend here, and I'm just going to try to do a straight line across. Kind of sort of worked. Like that. That is our little flower pot. All right, so we are going to glue this down. This is our computer here. Super cute. And I'm going to try to get this in the center here. Like this. Then we're going to take our little coffee and we're going to stick 2 dimensionals on there. And then we're going to stick this right here. Oh, we forgot to color we need to color those. So that I did in Shy Shamrock. So I'm going to do these in light Shy Shamrock. It would have been smart to color these ahead of time, but that's okay. Some of you like to watch coloring. And this one is definitely easier to color before you cut it out. And again, this is just fussy cut out. I did do this one in Memento because I felt like with coloring this one in green, you couldn't You couldn't tell. There wasn't that much of an outline. Get on there. There we go. The leaf keeps moving on me. All right. And I just did one little coat across, and this is the light Shy Shamrock. Thought it was kind of fun off of that Coastal Cabana and the Summer Splash. Kind of a nice, bright, fun tag here. All right. And then I just went back and put a little, a little line on that line there in the center in the dark Shy Shamrock here, just to give it a little bit of, let's go this way, a little bit of variation in color. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my flower pot here. I left this little piece of the flower pot there from when I stamped the leaves. But I'm going to stick that. I do need to cut this little point off the side there. All right, so I'm going to stick this on here like this, and then I'm going to flip it over, and I'm just going to put a dimensional right over that. And then I'm going to put a couple dimensionals on my leaves. Let's see, we'll get this one here, that one, and then I need small ones. So let's do that. This one I think will fit right here. I always worry with things like this with tags that they will get cut off, like pulled off on accident. So I like to make sure that if I can, I get the dimensionals on there. All right, get that off there. Oh, these are really sticky. All right, and then we are just going to stick this over here. And I'm just going to try to make sure that it doesn't cover my sentiment here. Whoops. So I'm going to do that one there. Push this down. There we go. Just like that, so it's not covering our sentiment. Then we're going to take one of my absolute favorites, the Punch Trio, and it's going to be the one with the line. And I am going to just visually place this here, punch that out. That didn't come out. And then we're going to take our ribbon here. This is the Cloud Cover Textured Ribbon. I love this ribbon so much. And I'm just going to loop this over. Snip that off there. And then I'm going to take only one end of it and pull it through. So it's going to look kind of like that. And then I'm going to line these up here, and then I'm going to grab another piece of ribbon, and I'm going to stick it underneath both of the pieces of ribbon there, and then I'm going to tie a knot as close to the base here as I can get it. The best way I can tell you is when you're pulling, put your finger here, your left hand fingers down here, and your pointer finger up on the ribbon, and then your other fingers here, and then just pull it. Pull all three if you can do that. Take some practice. It's taken practice for me to get that. And I'm going to try this one upside down to see if I can get tails to be the right way. I'm just going to pull this through. Here we go. Yes, I got the tails the right way. All right, and then we are just going to play with our loops here. Oh, this just makes such a beautiful bow. All right, and then make that one the same size. And we're just going to pull these guys down. There we go. Whoops. All right, and then I am going to snip these off here at an angle. There we go. And then I'm going to snip off up here just a little bit. I always like to snip it off at the end in case something frayed. There we go. And I do them different ways. I cut them different angles there. All right, how pretty is that? And then we are going to embellish with these pretty gems right here. And they are the Sparkle Dot Essentials. And this is the Petunia Pop color. And these are also like the low profile. So I've got to keep it in this, on this paper backing here so I can get my tool under it. So we're going to put one right there. And then we're going to put one up here. Pull that out. And then we're going to do a small one right here. Thank you, Marrier. Isn't it pretty? I love these colors together. Such a fun, pretty, happy little card tag. All right, that is our second project for tonight. Isn't that cute? So cute. I love the ribbon with it. I think it gives it a little bit of that extra texture there. All right. Our next project is this cute little card right here. It's a smaller card. It says, "Good luck finding coworkers better than us." And it has a cute little backing here. And this one, let's see if I can get this stuff out here. We're going to use Secret C as our base here. And this is, I just had my, here it is. This is 4 by 3. And then I went down 1/4 inch. So we have Cloud Cover as our mat there. And then we have another piece of Secret C that I embossed with the Lazy Daisy embossing folder. I love this embossing folder. I actually did not get it in the beginning because I was like, that just looks way too busy. I'm not going to be able to use that. And then I kept looking at it. I didn't really see many people use it, but I kept looking at it online when I would like just browse when I was bored. And I was like, you know what? I think I might like that. So I got it and I love it. It's so cute. All right. I feel like I got the measurement wrong on that one. But that's okay. I think it's this piece. The piece that I embossed, but that's okay. It's supposed to be 1/4 inch. Maybe it's the, I don't know. It looks okay. Doesn't look too bad. All right. So we have that on there. And then we are going to glue this piece. You know what I might have done is I might have put it on. These are supposed to be the same size. I don't know. I cut it wrong. It's all good. It is 1/4 inch in is what it's supposed to be. So what did I say? 4 by 3. So then each layer go in by 1/4 inch, even though this doesn't look like 1/4 inch there. All right, and then for the sentiment here, we have this little piece here, and I will have the dimensions in the description, 3 by 1.5. And to identify these, I am doing it by the sentiment. So like this one here is the I appreciate you card because it has I appreciate you on there. So just put that out there so you can kind of find that. So this one we're going to use the Good Luck Finding Coworkers Better Than Us, which is this one here. And this is going to be in Secret C. Can you tell I was a Secret C person this week? All right. We're going to ink this up here. And then stamp that down there. Perfect. And this is going to go right here. And we are going to put dimensionals on here. Let's put that and that and this. We don't need full. All right, and then we're going to take these off. Oops. There we go. And this is going to go right here, like that. Then what I did was I stamped just the leaves in Memento. I colored them and then I cut them out individually. You can certainly keep the white around it. I just wanted to do it this way, so this is the way that I did it. Excuse me. And I just flipped you over. I am going to put these in the order that they go in. So this one and that one. This goes there and this goes here. All right. And, what I was going to do was I was going to take my black marker and I'm going to use the brush tip. And I just went over, you can see there's a little bit of white on there. I'm just going to go over that with my marker. And any on the side, I can cover that up too because the base is secret, so you might be able to see it. And this is good if you don't want to cut all the way to the edge, but you still want it to be a dark color. And you can do this with your blends as well. Just always be careful with that tip, the brush tip. All right. I'm just going to do this and I'll just wipe it off my desk because that's easier. There we go. All right. Okay. Then I'm going to grab my dimensionals here. I'm just going to snip some of these down smaller. And I'm going to start with this one on this side here. And I'm just going to tuck this in like that. And I'm just going to go one by one and add them in here as if it were just one. You can do it with it already being one. I just couldn't get it cut down enough. And it was just easier for me to cut these this way. So that's what I did. And put one on here. This one I'm going to push down a little bit more. Then we've got this one here. Whoops, I got two on that one. So we'll put that one there. This one right there. So we're going to put this guy right there. And then this one right here. And I have quite a bit of, I thought some of these I did go around it, but I didn't. That's okay. I just take my marker and I just go around the sides. And then you can't even tell, especially with it being off of Secret C, you can't tell, you can't see it. It blends right in. Oh, I missed a whole spot right here. All right. It's going to look like that. And then for the back, I used, this is cloud cover. And I'm going to pull my paper back out here. We are going to take our memento. I can grab it here. Whoops. And then I'm going to get the plant stamp here. And I'm going to make sure that my leaves are all inked up. So I have the leaves inked up. A little bit of the pot got inked up, but that's okay. What I'm going to do is I'm going to line the very top of this pot up with the edge of my cardstock here. And just stamp that down. So it just kind of gets the leaves. This one actually got part of, you can kind of see, it got part of the top of the pot, which is fine. This one I did better. I didn't get the pot at all, which was the purpose, was to not get that pot. I just think this pot looks weird because when you stamp it in black, your pot's black, and I don't like that. But then if you stamp it in like Petunia Pop, then all of it's Petunia Pop. And I don't want my leaves Petunia Pop, so I just kind of worked around it. All right. Then I'm going to take my Shy Shamrock, my light, and I know this is on cardstock, like the colored cardstock, but it still works as long as you use memento. It bleeds if you use the other, like the regular inks. And it's interesting because with the basic white, I was able to get it where I didn't get the ink to run when I used the outline as Secret C, but on here, on the colored cardstock, it seems to bleed. So I stuck with memento on this one. All right, and then I've got this here, and these leaves did kind of go off the edge of the paper, but I kind of like that look. All right, so we have those there. And then we're going to just take our dark, and we're just going to follow that middle line. They do have a new hybrid, the basic black. I'm interested to test that out. That'll be, that'll replace, I think they said, the Stays On too. The memento and the Stays On. Isn't that pretty? Then we're going to flip this over and we're going to glue this down. Yeah, I'm interested to test out that new hybrid, basic black. I think that's going to be really fun to play around with. Whoops. Here we go. Yeah, I did that the right direction. There we go. And then we are going to embellish with these, whoops, Moody Palette Glossy Dots. And I did these white ones. Did I do the white, or is that is white? White, and then I did a Secret C. That is white, or is that? Nope, that's cloud cover. right? Yeah, that's cloud cover. This is cloud cover, and then this one is Secret C. My lights make it hard for me to tell. All right, so we are going to put this back in a little bit so I can get these off. So only thing with the low profile type dots is I can't get them off very easily unless they're in the package. So we've got one there. There we go. We'll put this one here. And I'm just pushing these down really well because the embossing down here is, it's a 3D embossing folder. And we're going to take a Secret C and stick that one there. And that is our third project. How cute is that? Nice little fun card. Adorable. All right. We are cruising tonight. All right. Our next project is this cute little bookmarker tag here. And this is actually using the Delicate Dreams DSP. And this is the back here. Super cute. And I think this ribbon's probably going to be retiring. And I put Wink of Stella on the, there you go, on the coffee cup right there. And that's one of the strawberries from the Strawberry and Dots, I think is what it's called. Yeah, Strawberry and Dots gems. So we've got our ribbon, and then we've got our pieces here. All right, so we are going to start with 2.5 by 6, and then we go down by 1/4 inch. So this is Strawberry Slush. This is Pretty in Pink, and then we have the Delicate Dreams, right? Yeah, Delicate Dreams DSP. It's the back of this one here, and we are just going to glue these together. So I'm just going to take this DSP, I'm going to glue it down onto the Pretty in Pink. And then we are going to glue the Pretty in Pink down to our Strawberry Slush. Let's see which way I can get it so I'm not getting my fingers messy. All right, there we go. And then what I did was I looked for the side that I wanted to be the bottom, which basically was the prettier end, because that's the part you're going to see where your ribbon's going to be. You're not going to necessarily notice it as much as you are down here. So for this one, I'm going to use this side here because I think it's the prettier end. So I'm going to take my, where did it go? Here it is. My punch from the Punch Trio, and I'm just going to visually put it here in the center. I am going to make sure that it is on the DSP, and this might be a little bit harder to punch than normal because it's 3 pieces, but I didn't find it too terribly difficult. And then what we're going to do is put our basic white. Actually, we got to stamp that first. I didn't stamp it. I thought I did. We'll come back to it because I can always cut that. All right, so we're going to take our sentiment here is I appreciate you. So I have a little piece of basic white. This is a 1/4 inch by, I'm pretty sure that's 3 inches. Pretty sure. 2 3/4. So we're going to take our Secret C and our I appreciate you, which I think is this one here. And we're going to ink that up. And I'm going to stamp it more towards the edge because I want to have my I want to have a little spot to be able to put my little coffee there. Okay, that's a little bit tall. Let's try that again, maybe. There we go. Get it a little bit closer to me, I can see. There we go. All right. So this will be right here. And then we've got our coffee cup. I stamped it in Secret C. And I've already cut it out, fussy cut. And then we're going to do Pretty in, it's flirty, Pretty in Pink. That's one Pretty. Is this a Pretty? This is the other Pretty. So we're going to do, no, we're going to do Dark Pretty in Pink first. This is dark, right? Yeah. I always feel like the dark is the light with Pretty in Pink. And I am just going to color it in kind of like that, just to kind of give me a little bit of shading on this one. Then I'm going to go back with the light, the dark. Wait, yeah, the light. Gosh, they messed me up with this one. And do a coat over. Because I feel like the dark Pretty in Pink is actually light. All right. And then I'm going to go back over that again with the dark. Just in that same little pattern there. And then I'm just going to drag that color over. Like that. Give it a little bit of shading. All right, and then we're going to use cloud cover for the lid. You can leave it white. I just wanted it a little less noticeable. So I'm just going to color right over those lines with the light cloud cover. Makes it a little bit less noticeable. And then we are going to take and place our little coffee cup how we want it. And then I'm going to flip this over, take a dimensional, and I'm going to put that right there. I'm actually going to put another one down here so it doesn't move. Oops. And then we're going to put a dimensional here and then here. Nope, that one's off. This one. I want one at this top here, just in case. If it was a card, I wouldn't worry about it, but since it's like you might use it as a bookmark, I don't want it to tear. All right, and so I'm just going to do my best to center this. Go right about here. Like that. And then I'm going to grab my Wink of Stella. And it is a brand new one, so it is very winked. So it's going to be very sparkly on this one. I have one that I have open, but I cannot for the life of me find it. I'm not sure what I did with it. I have been doing some reorganizing and moving stuff around, and I couldn't tell you where it is. I thought I knew where it was, but I don't. All right. Let's see if you can get the shimmer there. Maybe a little, there you go. Isn't that pretty? All right. Now we're going to do our, oh, we got to do our back because we can't put our ribbon on until we do the back. So we're going to grab our black, Memento black, which that's good. That gives it time to dry. And then we're going to take our plant here, and we're going to do the same thing. I'm going to ink it up, but I'm going to get my stamp off paper because I know I'm going to get it on the table. All right. There we go. Sorry, I'm out of frame. See, I would have got all that on the table. All right. All right, and then, here we go. The lid is over here. Put that down. And then this is the same way as the others with the Shy Shamrock. I wanted to say Summer Splash, but it is not Summer Splash. And we are just going to do one little coat, one single coat across each leaf. Oh, I smeared on that leaf. Wonder how I did that. And then we'll go back with that dark and just go over that center line just to give it a little bit of dimension there. I love my blends. I didn't even think when I was going to do this bundle, or this stamp set, I mean, that it used blends. But I was kind of excited when I realized that. I was like, oh, hey, I get to color. All right, and then we're just going to go with our dark right over that center right there. Oof, perfect. All right, so this goes, did I do that on the wrong side? Nope, I did on the right side. Okay. So I'm going to put glue and then I'm going to stick this down. There we go. All right, so we have to cut this part out. So we're going to take and line up our punch here and just punch that out. I'm just going to make sure it didn't get glue on it. All right, so we have our hole. You can do it with the white already on the back and do it all together. It's a little bit harder to punch it, I mean. All right, so we are going to take our faux linen ribbon here in Strawberry Slush, and I'm just going to cut a piece, and then we do the same thing with my Secret C. I'm just going to kind of measure them the same. And then I'm going to put the Secret C on the inside, like this. And then I'm going to feed them through here, like this. And then I'm going to try to make them. And another trick that I do, which is probably the smart way to do this, is to take a piece of tape and tape this down. That's another way you can do this to make it easier when you do your bow. I do this sometimes when I'm lazy. All right, let's get this under here. So we're putting this under all the pieces there. Then, whoops, come back here. I have a love-hate relationship with this ribbon. All right, and we're just going to get that as close to, here we go. All right, and then it just pulls right off. And then I think I have to tie it this way. Wish I could figure out how to tie it the correct way so that I don't have to flip it upside down, but I don't know what I do to make it not be the right way. All right, here we go. And then we're just going to adjust our loops here. You can do them however long or short. I like my bows little, but I like them even too. All right, like that. Then I'm just going to snip these off here. Yes, isn't it pretty, the combination? I actually accidentally did this. I couldn't decide which color I wanted on here, and so I put them on here together to try to, you know how you can put it together and you see one and the other at the same time? And I was like, you know what? I like them both together. So I ended up doing them both together. Happy little accidents like that make some really fun combinations, right? I have my moments with the tying the ribbon. I'm not always the best, but I try. One of my friends has a, what is it called, a bow builder. It's got these like rods or something, and you stick it in there and you do all this stuff to it. I'm like, that's a little complicated for me, but she does great with it. All right, these are not different sized. I like mine different size. There we go. There we go. All right. I like mine to not be exactly the same length. And now, whoops, I thought I had that in my hand. We are going to embellish. And so I thought it was really cute having that cute little strawberry there in the center, because it almost could be like it's a smoothie or something, a strawberry smoothie, because it's pink. So we're just going to take one of these strawberries, stick that right there, and then I'm going to take 3 of these dots in strawberry slush, 1 of the large, and then 2 of the smaller. I really wish that I had, this is hydrangea hue. And I tell you what, I was trying my best to match this up with a different color other than pink. I couldn't do it. Because this is not, it's not Highland Heather, but it's not Fresh Freesia either. And it's not Petunia Pop. It's like in between. I was like, I can't figure out a color to go with this. So we went pink, because I thought it was kind of fun. All right, that is our 4th project. How pretty is that? So cute. I love it. I love the little ribbon here. All right, we have one more project, and this is such a fun little technique. I've never done this before, but I'm quite proud of it. Isn't that pretty? So cute. And it opens. Oh, there's my tape from when I was taking my picture. I wondered where that went. Isn't that pretty? So for this, you know what? I need to wipe this off because I just stuck my finger in there. And that is black. That's no good. All right, wipe that off. So we have, for this one here, whoops, this is Flirty Flamingo. So we have our Flirty Flamingo here. and my bone folder. And then our embossed piece is the Lazy Daisy. Isn't that pretty? And put that down like that so you can see. What we're going to do, I'm just going to tear a piece of this off here. I don't need all of it. We are going to take our dauber. This is a dauber. And then we're going to take our Flirty Flamingo. Whoops. Put that down. And I'm going to stick my finger in the dauber. And then we're just going to tap this on our ink, tap it off. And then I'm just going to go over each of these daisy flowers. And I started just going over them lightly, and then I go back over them with like a sweeping motion to make them a little bit darker. And I did do these side ones as well, and I do recommend almost inking it in between each, because otherwise it's going to take forever. But definitely daub it off once. And then we're just going to go over each of these. I almost went over the smaller flowers here, but I thought it would look prettier and have more of an impact with the larger flowers. And I think it looks really cute. And other than the dabbing, it's not, it's a very simple card. You just go across here. Just like that. And then I have little pieces here on the edge. And here. I don't normally use daubers. Do you guys? They're not normally on my radar. But for this, I was like, I don't want to use a blending brush because that's too much. Now I'm just going to brush this in. So if I go this way, I'm going to brush from me towards that way. And I'm just going to keep doing that. I'm going to push it to the middle. I'm not doing good with my words today. I am going to slide it to the middle of the flower, from the outside to the inside of each flower. And that's going to give it that extra pop there on certain petals. And definitely daub off once. And you can always go back and add, but you can't take away. So start little and then add. So I already see one or two. I'm going to go back and add a little bit. And then we'll just do a little bit here. Isn't that pretty how it kind of pops off there? And you can just keep adding a little bit to make them all kind of the same. Oops. See, that's what happens when you don't daub off. That one's a little bit dark. It's okay. All right. Isn't that pretty? They almost look like snowflakes, but they're not. They're daisies. See if I can close this. There we go. All right. Put this up here so I don't drop it on the floor. Now this is 8 by 4 1/4. Where's my, I think this is 4 1/4. Yes, 4 1/4. So the paper is slightly longer one way, so this way is longer. Oh, yes, definitely, Marrier. Come back and watch later. Thank you. Thanks for popping on. All right, so I'm going to put it this way, and I'm going to glue down. I'm going to use quite a bit of glue since this is a 3D. And then we are going to put this down. And then we have our sentiment here, which is going to be welcome to the team. So that's a piece of basic white. And that is this sentiment here. And then we're going to do that in Secret C. I'm going to find it. Come here. And there we go. And again, I'm going to do this towards the end so that we have a place for our cup. There we go. Whoops. Did I already cut out the... I didn't. Okay, so we're going to... Oh, you know what? That was my piece to cut out the... This is the piece for the Dream Team. Or the Welcome to the Team. This was my piece to do the cup. My bad. I thought it looked weird. All right, that's the one we want there. This one is the one we're going to do our cup. And I'm doing that in Secret C on purpose. And stamp that down. I think I need to re-ink my Secret C. All right, and then we're going to take our Flirty Flamingo blends, and we're going to start with the dark on this one. Goodness gracious. And we're going to do kind of like what we did with the Pretty in Pink, except this one is really darker. And I'm going to do the same thing. Just kind of put that around the edge on the one side and go back with the lighter, and then just do little circles around it. I'm going to give it a little bit of time to get acclimated to that lighter, and then I'm just going to keep going over it and blending. And then I'm just going to move that color over to the other side as I do my little circles. Sorry if I'm shaking the table. I don't think you can tell. I can tell, but I don't think you can. Hopefully. All right. And then I'm just going to do a little bit like this. Whoops. It did bleed a little bit over here, but that's okay. And I'm just going to pull that color over like that. You know what it is? I can see the M through it is what it is. I don't know if you guys can see it. I can see that M through it. right, and then we're just going to cut this out. And again, I cut right along the line just because that's easier for me. But you can always just cut around the white area. Oh, we forgot to do the top. That's okay, that's easier to do. Cut than some of the other ones. All right, there we go. We're going to do the lid again in cloud cover because I think it kind of gives it, it makes it not so, see how noticeable it is in the white? It's not nearly as noticeable with the, not that it's a big deal, but if you guys have been here long enough, you know, to me it's a big deal. I like my details. So we're just going to take our light secrets cloud cover. Here we go. And we're just going to go over those lines. Just kind of dull that white down a little bit. All right, now we're going to do the same thing we did with the other one, where we're just going to arrange it here how we are going to want it. Flip it over and then get my dimensionals here. So we're going to put one right there. It's hard to do one-handed. And then we're going to put one up here so that it can't move around. And then 1, 2. We're going to put those down. You can take these off. And then we are going to stick this in the very center of our card front. Oh man, my little tip came over. I don't know if you can tell, the little tip is out over the side there, so I'm just going to snip that off. All right. Is it open this way? Yes. All right. So we're going to stick that right there. And then for the inside, I had already done this piece right here. Just kind of goes right there on the inside, so we'll go ahead and glue that. I gotta clean my glue. All right. And we're gonna stick this right here. And then we are going to embellish, and we are going to use the pearlized faceted circles. These are really, really pretty. I actually used the petal pink on this one, and I'm going to use the white on this one. And my little tool went over here. So I'm going to do one of these large ones. So we'll put that up here. Go right there. And I like to push these down a lot because it's on the 3D. All right, and then we're going to get two of the small. So we'll put this one here. And then we'll put, let's put this one up here, maybe right here. There we go. And that is our final project. Isn't that so cute? Super pretty. Cute little card there, welcoming somebody to your team. All right, let's take a look at everything that we have created tonight. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed these projects as much as I did creating them. Give myself some room here to show you guys everything. All right, we have project number 1, this card here. Then we have our project number 2. It's this little tag here. Super cute. Then we have project 3. It's a nice little card. Then we have project 4. And it does have that wink of Stella on it. I can get it to shimmer for you. There it is. We've got the back here, and it's got the cute little strawberry there. And then our final project is this cute one right here. So stinking cute. This is such a fun little stamp set. All right, you'll have to let me know in the comments which is your favorite. It's tied between these two. One of these two is my favorite. I think maybe this one because it's a bit different than what I normally do. But it's still really, really pretty. All right. My next live is going to be next Monday, which is March 30th, 6:30 p.m. And I'm going to be working again with the Help Me Grow bundle. I had so much fun with that the first time that I want to give it a go again. And in a couple weeks, I will be integrating some of the new annual catalog bundles and suites in. I just have to see which ones I'm able to get in pre-order, because I know there was some last pre-order that went out of stock. So I'm going to wait and see, but integrate those coming in up in a few weeks. And then if you haven't already, make sure you are following me on all my socials, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. And again, join my email list or my card mailing list in the description. Look for the little rainbow emoji. If you enjoyed tonight's video, go ahead and put this emoji or the word team down in the comments so that I can say thank you so much for watching all the way to the end. Make sure that you like and have subscribed, and hit that bell for my YouTube channel. And thank you again so much for choosing to spend your time with me tonight. I will see you right back here next Monday for a brand new video. Bye.